Banegas-Carreon, and we will be starting our webinar on Know Your Risk, Prevent Type 2 Diabetes in just a few moments. Let's give an opportunity for others to join in if they are free. I will check back in a few minutes. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, hello and welcome to today's webinar, Know Your Risk, Prevent Type 2 Diabetes. My name is Lucinda Banegas-Carreon. I'm an Extension Associate 2 with the NMSU Cooperative Extension Service, and I am also a certified lifestyle coach with the National Diabetes Prevention Program. I want to thank you for joining us today to learn about strategies that you can use to prevent type 2 diabetes and also to assess your own risk in prediabetes, as well as sharing information with friends and loved ones. So many of you have probably heard about diabetes, specifically type 1 and type 2. However, what you are probably not familiar with is the term prediabetes. It is definitely something that can be somewhat controversial. Some people believe in it, some people don't. But it is a very important diagnosis. So what is prediabetes? Prediabetes is a serious health condition characterized by higher than normal blood sugar levels, but not high enough yet to be diagnosed as type 2 diabetes. Now, what you will notice is that the word yet is bold, it's red, and it's underlined because an individual who has prediabetes will most likely become a full-blown diabetic within a 5-year time span. Now, there are things that we can do to prevent moving from prediabetes to type 2 diabetes. And this is where the word yet basically shows us that prediabetes should show us a red flag. Now, in the US, prediabetes is a very serious concern because over 84 million Americans have prediabetes. This averages out to more than 1 out of every 3 adults. So if you take your family, you take your friends, you take your coworkers, at least 1 out of 3 of you has prediabetes. A more important and shocking number is that 9 out of 10 don't know they have prediabetes. Now, again, you can't take action on a diagnosis if you do not know that you have it. So, when individuals, as much as 9 out of 10, don't know that they have prediabetes, this becomes problematic because then individuals don't know what to do to help themselves. So, is a prediabetes diagnosis serious? Absolutely. There are many associated health complications that are included within getting a prediabetes diagnosis. People who have diabetes are at higher risk of serious health complications such as blindness, kidney failure, heart disease, stroke, and loss of toes, feet, or legs. Now, with prediabetes, you may not see this, but progressing into full-blown type 2 diabetes will cause and may cause serious health concerns such as this. There are also hidden costs that we have that are basically a problematic in our society, such as the high cost of total medical costs, lost work and wages for people who are diagnosed with diabetes, as well as a higher than normal death rate for individuals with prediabetes versus those without. And then there are also just rising medical costs for medications and just procedures as far as being 2 times the amount as an individual without prediabetes. Now, you might be asking yourself, this is pretty shocking, this is serious information, but how does it pertain to me? Because quite frankly, as society, we tend to think that things don't happen to us, they happen to others. And if you knew that you might be pre-diabetic, or if you do know that you are at risk, you may think that you will never get that far into it or you will never be affected. However, the risk factors do not exclude anybody. In fact, the risk factors are pretty shocking in that they include almost everyone. Risk factors of type 2 diabetes include being overweight, having a family history, being physically inactive, being 45 years old and over, ever having gestational diabetes or having had a child over 9 pounds, and race and ethnicity definitely play a part in your risk. So if nobody is excluded and there is no individual who's safe from this, what should you do to better understand your risk? The CDC has put together a pre-diabetes risk screening test provided here. I would like you to take a moment to read through the information and fill out the test with your score. This information is strictly for you to keep and for your eyes only, but you may be able to identify whether or not you are somebody who is at risk for prediabetes, and maybe you know somebody who would benefit from taking this risk assessment as well. So let's give you a few moments to go through and complete this form. You may continue on to complete the test if you're not yet completed with it. However, just to review some of the questions that you're scoring yourself on is your age, whether you're a man or a woman. If you're a woman, if you have ever been diagnosed with gestational diabetes during pregnancy, do you have a family history? Have you ever been diagnosed with high blood pressure? Are you physically active? And then it also discusses your weight category based on the table to your right. Now, if you find yourself at risk, then what you will do is we encourage you to go to your healthcare provider for follow-up. It is important to include a healthcare provider so that you can better get a sense of where your health stands. It is possible that you have other underlying health issues that could make your diagnosis more complicated, or maybe there are strategies you can take to help, again, decrease your risk. I would like to say down at the bottom and point out that it says type 2 diabetes is more common in African Americans, Hispanics, Latinos, Native Americans, Asian Americans, and Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders. Higher body weight increases diabetes risk for everyone. Again, we go back to nobody is exempt. Asian Americans are at an increased diabetes risk at lower body weight than the rest of the general public, and this is just due to genetic makeup. Now, as a society, we tend to lead a very sedentary lifestyle, whether that be at home, watching TV, possibly not really doing much of anything, or being at work and sitting behind a desk most of the day. America is just so deeply involved in what they do that we tend to get very little exercise, which causes a problem for our health. And this also leads to higher obesity rates across our nation. So once you have your risk test done and you want to go see your doctor, you want to really get an idea of how prediabetes is diagnosed. So there are a few options that will be taken. So the first option is for you to get a glycated hemoglobin test, better known as an A1C. This gives an idea of the body's average blood sugar levels from the past 2 to 3 months. The table there shows A1C levels on the left and the diagnosis of where you would fall on the right. As you can see, less than 5.7 would be considered normal, whereas 5.7 to 6.4 is in that pre-diabetes range. The picture there shows an example of how an A1C is tested. Basically, it is a finger poke test done in the presence of your healthcare provider's office, or you might do it at a screening within the community. Another option is called a fasting plasma glucose, or an FPG test, that measures a person's blood glucose level after fasting for 8 hours. Again, you have your table there that shows your FPG levels and what is considered the diagnosis range. If an individual falls into a prediabetes range within the FPG test, it is recommended that the test is repeated to determine if there was a false reading or if there's other underlying factors that could be affecting the outcome. Another type of test is an oral glucose tolerance test. Now, this test is very common among women who are pregnant. And as you can see by the picture, most women who have gone through this test remember drinking this very sugary orange or possibly lemon lime beverage. Now, in the graph or in the table, you see the type of results, okay? What gives you a normal reading, a prediabetes reading, or a diabetes reading. And these are your blood glucose levels. Now, once you've received your diagnosis, your first question might be, how do I cure my prediabetes? How do I ensure that I get better? Well, the reality is there is no cure for prediabetes. However, there are ways to prevent or delay the onset of type 2 diabetes, which is a very important aspect to keep in mind. You can prevent or delay the onset of type 2 diabetes by following some strategies that will help you and make you healthier in the long run. So right now I want to talk about a few of these strategies. The first strategy is weight loss of 5 to 7% of your current body weight. This is very important because, as stated earlier, being overweight tends to lead to prediabetes, and if no action is taken, this will continue on into type 2 diabetes. So losing weight is probably one of the first options. The next thing you can do is pay more attention to and choose more nutritious food options. This might be increasing your fruit and vegetable intake, eating leaner protein. It might also involve just making better choices, maybe not partaking in dessert or maybe not, drinking the sugary beverages, drinking more water, making sure that the choices you make help to nourish your body and do not add to the problems that prediabetes can have. The next thing you can do is increasing your physical activity. Now, the recommended amount for increasing your physical activity is 150 minutes per week. People may think that's a lot because maybe they don't feel like they're active even half of that. But there are many things you can do throughout your day that can help to add to those minutes. And a lot of things can be fun and just general daily things, such as taking the stairs at work or possibly parking farther in the parking lot to, walk to your building. Maybe you go shopping at a shopping center or a mall and walk around the perimeter of the building. Whatever the case might be, there are very easy and simple ways that you can increase your minutes. The last thing is to participate in a lifestyle change program. And these have been known to help individuals stay on track in, again, preventing or delaying the onset of type 2 diabetes. So, what is a lifestyle change program? A lifestyle change program is mainly a group of people that come together to make changes in their everyday life to create long-term change. And a very good example of a lifestyle change program is the National Diabetes Prevention Program. This program was a major research study that involved a wide variety of agencies nationwide. The purpose was to study how a lifestyle change program focusing on calorie reduction and increasing physical activity to at least 115 minutes per week would have an impact on an individual's health. Results from the study showed that this structured lifestyle change program, in which participants achieved weight loss of 5 to 7% of their body weight, reduced the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 58% in adults. Now, this is a very important concept to keep in mind that by participating, you can once again prevent or delay the onset of type 2 diabetes. Now, the National Diabetes Prevention Program, better known as the NDPP, is a CDC-recognized lifestyle change program. It is an approved curriculum that includes activities, creating action plans, and provides resources to the participants. Activities may include topics such as stress management, ways to count calories, ways to better understand portion sizes, how to read food labels, as well as a wide array of different topics. The program is 1 year in length, which can be quite shocking, but I promise has a definite payoff. During the program, the first 6 months meets once a week for 1 hour for 16 weeks. And during that time, you learn all these different concepts to help you take small steps in creating big change. During the second part of the year, the idea is to maintain the information by learning strategies to use in everyday life, such as going out to eat and such as the holidays, times when there is high stress, there's a lot of food, there's a lot of friends and family, and this program just really provides you with opportunities to have ideas in your head, ways to plan ahead so that you are successful. The program is facilitated by a trained lifestyle coach, and this provides you with an opportunity to speak with somebody who has the ability to give you sound advice in prediabetes prevention. A support group of people with similar challenges is also a plus when participating in a program because you tend to find connections with individuals who are experiencing the exact same problems as yourself. And this helps people keep continuing to come back. This keeps people engaged and interested. And mainly the reason for this is because sometimes people don't have support systems at home. Sometimes individuals don't have the connections with their families or don't have the family support that others have. So by joining a program, they are better capable of meeting individuals that meet their needs. Right now, I would like to show you a participant testimonial of somebody who took an NDPP program. And this is a very inspiring video because it shows an individual who fully understood what she had to do to lead a healthier life. So let's take a moment to review this testimonial.
My name's Valerie Rolig, and I live in Franklin, Tennessee. I got very little physical activity because I was so tired and heavy, and so that really kind of limits you. You know, it's hard to kind of walk around and do things when you're, you know, overweight. And I wanted to get healthy and be more healthy.
My name's Marissa Wertheimer. I am a registered dietitian and health coach at Health Plus, and my main role is working one-on-one with Vanderbilt faculty and staff for our wellness coaching program. Getting started with exercise, there are a lot of barriers there, and a lot of people are finding, can find any excuse to not do it.
Just thought this was a good time to get serious. She learned I was pre-diabetic. She recommended me to this diabetes prevention program. You know, and I've been on diets many, many, many times. But the thing about this was, nobody was saying what I had to eat or what I couldn't eat. As long as I stayed in the guidelines, I could have anything I wanted. It's hard to point to one thing that made the difference. Because it's actually building line upon line upon line is what gave me the success.
Adding variety to your exercise routine, finding something that you enjoy and that you look forward to doing, because that's the best way to stay motivated.
I lost fairly quickly because I, really kept my calories to about 1,200 a day, and that gives you a tremendous incentive. You know, changing the exercise, changing the food portions, changing my mindset. All of those work together. So I went through cancer, I went through Graves' disease, the pre-diabetes, and there's a saying, nobody said it would be easy, just worth it. And it is, it's worth it. I feel like a kid again. This is just wonderful.
So as you can see, this individual had a very positive experience during a diabetes prevention program. And one of her major factors in her success were the food logs that were associated, because she was better able to see what she was doing on a daily basis. Now, one of the statements that she makes is, it's not easy, but it is worth it. And definitely when you make health a priority, it is definitely worth it to participate in something that may take a little bit of time, but can definitely have long-term positive health effects. Now, she identified reasons that were important to her that made her want to partake in a lifestyle change. And she identified reasons why she no longer wanted to be in the pre-diabetes range. So a great question to ask ourselves, if we are an individual with prediabetes, or if you know a family member or a friend with prediabetes, is what would motivate them? And our big campaign here at New Mexico State University is, what's your why? Now, this is a national campaign with CDC and our affiliate, CoMagin, who funds our programs through the NMSU Cooperative Extension Service. So I want you to take a moment and think about, what's your why? What is the reason that you would want to create a change in your lifestyle? For example, for me, my why is my family. I have 3 young kids at home who definitely have a lot of energy and who always want to be on the go and active. If I'm not feeling great that day due to my energy levels or due to what I've eaten that feels, heavy with me, or possibly due to weight, that I am not somebody who's going to be very happy participating in the activities that they so badly want to do. So for me, my why is my family. I'd like you to take a moment to reflect on what your why is and what is important to you when creating a lifestyle change. You don't have to share with us unless you choose to. So again, I'll give you a moment. The National Diabetes Prevention Program has been occurring with New Mexico State University since prior to 2012. However, in about August of 2017, the CDC awarded 1705 cooperative agreements to build the national DPP infrastructure in currently underserved areas. CoMagin Health was given a grant and chose to partner with New Mexico State University Extension due to its very large footprint in the community and the state. Right now, we have various lifestyle coaches who are also family and consumer sciences agents, as well as extension associates who deliver the program in communities that are considered underserved. We do have classes occurring in English, in Spanish, and some classes occurring in tribal communities. All have had success stories, all have had hiccups, all have had a tremendous amount of participation from individuals who believe that they can change their health and want to participate in leading a healthier lifestyle. So now I would like to ask you for a call to action. Again, you may know that you yourself are somebody who struggles with prediabetes, or possibly a friend or a family member. We encourage you to take the risk assessment or to provide the risk assessment to an individual that you think may benefit. Let us not forget that 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. We also encourage you to see your healthcare provider. It's important to get an overall aspect of your own health and understand what underlying factors can also what underlying factors can also be effective. We also want you to make positive changes to your lifestyle, which is very important in making sure that you live a long, healthy life for your why. And we want to prevent or delay the onset of type 2 diabetes. Everyone can play a part in preventing type 2 diabetes. We can raise awareness, we can share information, we can encourage participation, again in programs such as the DPP, and we can promote the program. And hopefully at some point, medical coverage through health insurance will be a benefit. We really hope that you try to identify ways that you and your family can lead healthier lifestyles and also ways that you can prevent type 2 diabetes. At this time, I would like to answer some of the questions that have been asked in the chat box. If you have something to add, please do so. So the first question that we have is, are home A1C tests accurate? So accuracy is actually pretty relative when it comes to A1C or blood glucose tests. Results can be about 0.5% higher or lower than the actual percentage that you are. That means that you're basically testing for more of a range than you are for an exact number. Again, when you get an A1C test, say at a community center or possibly even at your healthcare provider, you might want to actually get another test, or you might want to actually just go ahead and participate in some of the activities that you can do to decrease your risk. Because again, there is a wide range of where you could fall. The next question is, does stress affect A1C or regular sugar tests? Stress, especially chronic stress, can actually raise blood glucose levels and increase insulin resistance. Your body doesn't know how to differentiate bad stress from good stress, and you may not think it's associated with happy, exciting times in your life. But A1C results, it can definitely be affected with stress levels that are occurring in your life. So I would like to thank you for joining our webinar today. What's your risk? Prevent type 2 diabetes. Again, my name is Lucinda Banegas-Carreon. I am with the Cooperative Extension Service here at New Mexico State University, and I am always willing and able to speak with you more if you have questions on prediabetes, and also to put you in the right direction for programs that might suit you in trying to delay the onset of type 2 diabetes. Once this webinar is over, you will receive a survey. Please make sure to fill that out. And then afterwards, you will be provided with a handout that actually shows the risk assessment. And this is something that you can provide to others and possibly look for a class in your area. We do have upcoming webinars that will take place July 17th and September 4th, and you can always see our recorded webinars at our extension website provided below. Again, I will stay online for about 5 to 10 more minutes in case there are other questions, and if you can contact me separately if you prefer. Thank you so much, and we hope you have a fantastic day.